Hey, what's up everybody? So guess what? Today we're making, well, here in the United States we call it Au Gratin potatoes, but it's actually Au Gratin. That's the way you pronounce it. Au Gratin. Au Gratin. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I don't have the little French, twist to it, but it's pretty much what they call it in France. And this dish specifically is called Potato Gratin Dauphinois. Potato Gratin Dauphinois. There we go. I think I said it right. But yes, I usually am not a big fan of our American version of Au Gratin potatoes. And I'm going to keep saying Au Gratin so that way you guys understand what I'm saying. Because if I say it in French for my American people, you might be like, what the hell is he talking about? So it's pretty much, I'm going to call it Au Gratin potatoes. All right, so I'm going to make Au Gratin potatoes. I typically do not like Au Gratin potatoes, but the fresh version of these babies is delicious. Yes, it is delicious. It is a total game changer for me when it comes to making these Au Gratin potatoes or Au Gratin potatoes. And for now on, I think I can only eat them fresh after making this dish. Now, in this recipe, I made them two ways. Yeah, for the kids and for the adults, because the kids like cheddar cheese, so I had to use cheddar cheese in one, but I used the typical Swiss cheese in the French recipe. That's right. And I made a big old tray of it, and you'll see it in the video. That's right. And it's good. It's tasty. Now, I did make some changes in the recipe because, hey, that's what we do. I was supposed to layer the pan with butter, which is what I did. And then I was supposed to layer it with the sliced potatoes. And I did that at first, but then I was supposed to put a layer of sour cream on top. And that did not go too well because the sour cream kept messing up my layers of potatoes. So you know what I did? I put all of the potatoes in a bowl and I put in the garlic. That's right, I was supposed to put a little bit of garlic on the layer in the pan. So in a big bowl, I decided to put the potatoes, the sour cream, and the garlic all in one big bowl and mix it up by hand and then layer it out. And I'm making it easier for you because it was definitely easier for me. And just remember, this recipe can be modified, okay? Oh yeah, and the bonus, I smoked it in my Traeger. That's right. I made the big tray in the smoker. That's right. I smoked it with some hickory, here we go again. I smoked it with some hickory wood. I said it. I smoked it with some hickory wood and it came out delicious. So here's the recipe. You need to try it out, and I'm not going to talk too much in the video. I'm going to let you guys see how the recipe is done, and then you can go and make it, and then you can come back to my channel and go to the comment section and say, hey Jay, I made these potatoes. I made these au gratin. I made these au gratin potatoes and they came out delicious. Okay, so here we go. I think it's time for us to cook. Let's do it.
All right, so first you're going to need your potatoes, and all of the ingredients are listed down below as far as weight and everything else and how much you're going to need. All right, so you're going to need your potatoes. I'm using russet potatoes, and you're going to take a slicer and you're going to slice them up. I would hate to have to do this by hand. This is about 1/8 of an inch, so they're pretty decent size. They're nice and sturdy, but thin enough to cook up real good. So this is where I made my mistake earlier that I was talking about in the video, whereas I started layering the dish and then I started adding the sour cream. But then as I was adding the sour cream, it was too thick because it kept moving around the potatoes that I sliced up. So this didn't work, and it led to me having an idea. I guess you would call it a thought of amazingness, if amazingness is the right word to use. But what I decided to do is switch pans, and I took my melted butter and I mopped that baby down real good. And you can use extra butter to give it that nice buttery flavor at the bottom of the dish as well. So I added my butter unsalted, and then I took my garlic and I chopped it up real good in my little food processor. I love using this thing. And then after that, I took those little chunks of lovely garlic and I added it to the already sliced potatoes. I love the smell of garlic. Yum. Especially toasted garlic. And then after that, I added the sour cream, and then I began to mix it all in really, really good. Now this to me worked out amazing. I had great results with that. So then I took my buttered pan and then I went through the process of adding the potatoes, the sliced potatoes. And I don't want to bore you with it, but you get the gist of it and you can see it in the video that I just laid those potatoes down and then I sprinkled it with some salt and pepper, and this is going very well compared to earlier. Then I took my Swiss cheese, and this Swiss cheese is a thicker cut. So just be aware of that. Mine came out really nice and cheesy because I used the thick Swiss cheese. And then I layered it with I almost said tomatoes. Then I layered it with the potatoes. Again, so you're just going to repeat this step over and over and over again until you get your potatoes used up. And each layer that you make, you're going to sprinkle it with some salt. I use kosher salt, and you're going to sprinkle it with some ground pepper, and then you're going to put the cheese on top. And this will get repeated until, like I said, until your pan gets nice and full. Now this is completed. I ran out of cheese, but hey, that's what it is. And so then I took my milk and I poured it over it because this is going to add a little bit of that creaminess to it. Put it in the smoker. Yes, I love my Traeger. I love my Traeger. Did I say I love my Traeger? I really love my Traeger because I can do so much with this. All right, so I put it in the Traeger, cooked it up according to the directions below. Then after that, I pulled that baby out, and this cooked for about an hour at 365 degrees, just to let you know. Now that the hour is up, I take 1 egg, I take a dollop of sour cream, and I mix it in really, really well because I am going to use this and mop the top of the Au Gratin potatoes, or the Au Gratin, or the Au Gratin. That's what I said. Yeah. And so I'm going to take that and I'm going to mop the top of the potatoes. Look at this. Doesn't it look beautiful? That nice sizzling sound, that smell of cheese and sour cream and garlic. But yeah, you get the point. So I'm not going to bore you with me, having you watch me do the whole thing. But yeah, you mop the whole top, and then you're going to put it back in your oven at 365 degrees for 15 minutes, and then it's done. And it comes out looking just like this. Look how it's bubbling. All that cheese and that grease from the cheese, the oils, tasty. All right, so enough about me going on about that. But this is the other one that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. With this one, I put everything in one big bowl: the sour cream, the garlic, the salt, the pepper, the cheese. I added it all into one big bowl, and then I just dumped it into this casserole dish and cooked it up. And look at it. It's an easy, quick meal outside of having to slice those potatoes. And the kids loved it. It was so tasty. That's right. And then this is the main star of the show. This is the big dish, and this is how it looks. It came out nice, creamy, cheesy with the sour cream taste to it, and little bites of garlic. It was a lovely dish, and I gotta say, I am now a lover of making au gratin potatoes. I love it. And to all of my French people out there, thank you so much for this recipe. Hey, it's your turn. Go cook some.